Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Welcome back to one and all. It is 50 minutes past 4, coming to you live from the Salaminia studios here in Johannesburg. And Alhamdulillah, so as many people are preparing for iftar and making sure that their tables are being donned with food, Alhamdulillah, but at the same time, there's a millions of people who are displaced and wondering where their next meal will be coming from. Joining me on this topic is the sister Ruhi, uh, who is the CEO and founder of Refugee Biriyani and Bananas. Sister Ruhi, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the show.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Thank you so much for inviting me today.
Jazakumullah khaira for joining us. It is a pleasure, especially for people who are doing the beautiful work as yourself on the ground. Now, before we go much into the discussion of the Ramadan campaign itself, the name of your organization is quite unique and is so specific and memorable as well. Can you please tell our listeners the story behind why you chose the caption of biryani and bananas, inshallah?
Yes, inshallah. Let me tell you what happened. So, the organization was founded in 2015. So, been about 10 and a half years. We started supporting people who were displaced as the Syrian refugee crisis escalated. And one of our very first missions was going out to Calais and Dunkirk in northern France, where there was a large displaced people's camp. And when we got there and people realized that we were from some of the similar communities, our team from Bangladesh, South Asia, Afghanistan, and they started asking us for a home style cooked meal, halal meal. So, we ended up cooking biryani and bananas for 2,000. Well, we didn't cook the bananas. We distributed the bananas with the biryani as they requested. And we made it with the community on a renovated bus kitchen. And we distributed that. And from then on, the organization became known as Refugee Biriyani and Bananas. We didn't plan to register as an organization. It was essentially going to be like a social media page to raise awareness. But eventually, when we did register, we decided to keep the same name.
Subhanallah, was a definitely unique concept which brought about the name biryani and bananas. And now, as yourself and the team, as you work on the front lines in various refugee camps and the crisis zones, now we're in the month of Ramadan. What is the current situation on the ground for the families you serve?
So we have operated and supported in many different countries, but currently we have three different projects. One is to support people who are displaced from countries such as Palestine, Sudan, Yemen, Somalia, and Greece. Two, we are supporting people who are displaced in Cairo, Sudanese people, people who have recently been evacuated from Gaza and from other displaced communities as well. That is where I am right now. And then we also have a team, which is the picture on the right you will be seeing. It's our team in Gaza who are also doing distributions. The situation is terrifying and terrible. I mean, people have been through unimaginable horrors, from war to assault to having to flee their home countries to losing their loved ones, and they often end up, whether they're inside of Gaza or now in Cairo or in Greece, for example, they come into a system where there's homelessness. They might be living in a camp, or they might be totally homeless, exploitation, having to beg on the streets of Cairo, car crashes happening because children and women are having to beg. As you know about the situation in Gaza, people have been displaced over and over again. Many people don't even have shelter or are living in broken buildings. So in those circumstances, people don't even have enough food. There's a lack of food insecurity, lack of water. What we have is some of the privileges we have of having food for suhoor, having food for iftar. Those people do not have that. And this is where we come in and try and support people wherever we can.
SubhanAllah. Now, this is one of the teachings that we learn from Ramadan, of having to experience that sense of hunger. But for us, obviously, it's only a few hours. And for them, it's a point whereby they do not actually know when is the next meal coming. Now, in terms of your latest campaign, which is titled Iftar to Impact, what is the core message you are trying to send to the global ummah with this theme?
The message to the core ummah, our brothers and sisters, is that, for those of us who have a little bit more privilege than others, if we can put a plate of food on our table at iftar time, if our children, our parents, our brothers and sisters can go to sleep not on an empty stomach, and we can still wake up for suhoor and have food to eat, or whether you pray through the night, we are very lucky. We should remember that. And what I would say to the ummah is, let's share whatever we can, donating, whether it's to our organization or to another trusted organization. Even if you donate £1 or $1 or €1, it will make the world of difference.
Most definitely. And also, we know that the RBB focuses on dignity. What does a typical Ramadan food parcel from your organization look like, and how long does it sustain a family?
So when we talk about distribution with dignity, it means that we involve those that we're supporting in the decision-making processes to the delivery. So actually 95% of our team are from the affected populations in war zones or refugees and asylum seekers themselves. And that means that when we are supporting them with what they really want and need and not what we've decided or what we think they need. So that's where the dignity part comes in. And a standard Ramadan food parcel, it can change from whether it's in Cairo or Gaza or Greece. As you know, the situation in Gaza, the availability is limited. But anyways, our first distribution in Gaza was last week, and we were able to provide from oil to sugar to pasta to eggs and dates as well. Whereas in Greece, where we just finished the distribution, we were also able to support with similar items, including tin tomatoes, dates. Again, everybody's been asking for dates. So whatever is available, and we can provide. And a food parcel will last a family about 2 weeks.
Subhanallah, most definitely. And now, many of our listeners at the moment in this time of Ramadan are actually looking for a home for their zakat and sadaqah right now. So, is the RBB then zakat eligible in terms for people when they wish to donate with you, and how would the process be, inshallah?
Yes, it is zakat eligible. So we do have a donation link. And on the donation link, when you make your donation, you can choose where you would like it to support. I mean, we have other things as well as the food parcels. We've got water projects, emergency shelter projects, emergency packs as well. And then at the end, if you're from the UK, you can claim gift aid, which is like almost like a tax support towards the organization. But also there is a button that you can press for zakat. And then we automatically get a message saying this is zakat and this should go into our zakat pot. If you don't want to use like the online platforms, you can always search for us online, and you can also make a bank transfer. Again, in the reference, you can just write zakat and we will put it in the zakat pot.
Most definitely. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy and grant a lot of barakah for the beautiful work that yourself and the team are doing. Now, in terms of your own personal experience as the CEO and founder, you've really seen things that people can only see on news and social media. Now, is there any particular encounter or a person that you met recently whose story refueled this year's Ramadan drive in yourself?
Yes, I mean, okay, so we also operate on the Greek island of Chios. It is one of the camps where people are traveling from Turkey to arrive for safety and sanctuary. And recently we had a very tragic incident happening on the island where what happened was when a boat of about 49 people from Afghanistan were traveling from Turkey to Greece, there was an accident and the boat was crashed into by the Coast Guards. 15 people died. And at the same time, 24 other people were injured as well. 2 women who were pregnant lost their children. So, when I was there this time for the Ramadan distribution, as well as the Ramadan distributions, what was really important for us was to support the survivors and the families of those that were deceased. So we also support with things like Muslim burials, Muslim funerals, but there's a lot of bureaucracy. The human rights are not respected in some of these places. But what we did during our distribution was that we wanted to put a solidarity message out for the Afghan community. So we put this was our Ramadan distribution. So we put an Afghan flag up, and the whole team got together to do this from Sudan, from Eritrea, from Ethiopia. So we all did it together. And also we had like a solidarity message just for the families and friends. And I think just remembering that it's not just about a food parcel. A food parcel is very important, but it's the consistency of being there, but also the solidarity and the accompaniment. So I think this distribution in particular was quite difficult because we had families who were looking for missing family members, unaccompanied minors. We had to sometimes tell people that their loved one was no more with us. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun.
Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, indeed. And like I said, these are things that we on the other side can only imagine actually, and cannot really understand what devastation it causes to the people. However, our prayers and du'as are with the brothers and sisters all over the world who are in difficulties, more specifically Sudan, Gaza, in Syria also, Myanmar, and Congo as well, inshallah. And now lastly, inshallah ta'ala, what is your prayer or your dua for the refugee community this Ramadan?
My prayer for the refugee community this Ramadan is that everybody should have safety and sanctuary and the same rights as everybody else in this world, like education and a right to work, safety for our families. In the meantime, whilst there is still complicity happening from the Western world and wars are happening and conflicts, and there is oppression and poverty still, in that meantime, my prayer is that we should all gather together as the Ummah, as brothers and sisters, from all backgrounds, regardless of if you're Muslim or not, and do whatever we can to support, whether it's to donate or whether it's to share a post or raise awareness.
No, most definitely. Jazakumullah khaira for your time. And we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does grant you strength and capabilities so that you can move from strength to strength in this beautiful organization of yours and your team. And until we meet again, inshallah. So we say Eid Mubarak in advance and Ramadan Mubarak, inshallah.
Eid Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah khairan.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, there was our sister Ruhi from the RBB, mashallah, doing beautiful work and helping refugees who have been through conflict and been through a lot of issues which have stemmed into displacement of people. We make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants them jazayan khair, inshallah. Ameen. It is 5 o'clock on the dot. Inshallah, we'll be taking our break. And when we return, we are looking at the Ikhwan Elderly Center here in Calfontaine, Midrand, joined by Sheikh Tamim Zakaria and Sister Hawa Taba, inshallah. Let's take a break.